Psalm 104. This is a longer psalm, but I would encourage you, as you listen to me read it, look along in the text itself, and then let the words actually frame how you think about the things that you have noted or haven't taken note of around your house, outside of your house, uh, and wherever you happen to live. If you live in Colorado particularly, consider the trees and the mountains as you listen to the psalmist describe for us the nature of the world around us, not just himself, but around us. Psalm 104. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with majesty and splendor, covering yourself with light as with a garment, stretching out the heavens like a tent. He lays the beams of his chambers on the waters. He makes the clouds his chariot. He rides on the wings of the wind. He makes his messengers winds, his ministers a flaming fire. He set the earth on its foundation so that it should never be moved. You covered it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At your rebuke they fled. At the sound of your thunder they took to flight. The mountains rose, the valleys sank down to the place that you appointed for them. You set a boundary that they may not pass, so that they might not again cover the earth. You make springs gush forth in the valleys. They flow between the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. Beside them the birds of the heavens dwell. They sing among the branches. From your lofty abode you water the mountains. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your work. You cause the grass to grow for the livestock and plants for man to cultivate, that he may bring forth food from the earth and wine to gladden the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen man's heart. The trees of the Lord are watered abundantly, the cedars of Lebanon that he planted. And then the birds build their nests. The stork has her home in the fir trees. The high mountains are for the wild goats. The rocks are for refuge for the rock badgers. He made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows its time for setting. You make darkness, and it is night. When all the beasts of the forest creep out, the young lions roar for their prey, seeking their food from God. When the sun rises, they steal away and lie down in their dens. Man goes out to his work and to his labor until the evening. O Lord, how manifold are your works. In wisdom have you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Here is the sea, great and wide, which teems with creatures innumerable. Living things, both small and great. There go the ships and Leviathan, which you formed to play in it. These all look to you to give them their food in due season. When you give it to them, they gather it up. When you open your hand, they are filled with good things. When you hide your face, they are dismayed. When you take away their breath, they die and return to their dust. When you send forth your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the ground. May the glory of the Lord endure forever. May the Lord rejoice in his works, who looks on the earth and it trembles, who touches the mountains and they smoke. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have been. May my meditation be pleasing to him, for I rejoice in the Lord. Let sinners be consumed from the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Praise the Lord. Psalm 104 is this reflection upon the world around us, that surrounds us. And at the heart of it is a way of viewing the world, a way of interacting in the world, which flies in the face of kind of modern secular materialism, which is kind of seeped into our view of everything. There is, I think, in our day a tendency to minimize the activity of God in the world as much as humanly possible, until we can't, and then maybe, if you're a theist, default then to acknowledging God's presence, or maybe to place him in the realm of values, or to place him in the realm of things like beauty, or the affections, or moral values, but to leave the physical realm to physical realities, to look at a set of mountains and to merely see the potential geographical causes as kind of the defining feature of what they are. The psalmist sees a radically different world than that one. He looks at the mountains and says God planted them there. He sees crops growing in a field, and he doesn't see there simply like the natural biological consequences of planting seed in decent soil and it getting enough air and water and sunlight. No, he sees there actually the hand of God providing wheat for people. He doesn't see a bottle of wine merely as the ingenious machinations of man, like taking grapes, stomping on them, letting them ferment, and then bottling it after the right amount of time. And then he sees it as actually the provision of God, the kindness of God, that he's given mankind specifically to make the heart glad. A verse I was always eager to point out to my teetotaling mom. That the reality is that the world that's portrayed for us in the Bible is a world marked deeply by meaning, by beauty, but by filling this world with God's activity everywhere. So that we might say, hey, these mountains have formed, and these fault lines are here, and the earth shakes because of what we would account to natural consequences. That's true, but it's not nearly true enough. Underneath all of those things, be it wine or bread or mountains or trees or streams that flow that bring water to animals, all of it, the psalmist says, is actually at the deepest level, and not merely the natural consequences of the world being the way it is, but the providence of God moving and acting in history by design and creation, sustaining the world as it is, that it might bring forth life and flourishing. The lion eats because he's faster than the deer he catches in the night. And the lion eats because God provides for him a deer to eat. This is a view of the world that can receive the world as a gift from God's hand. They can look to him always, not being blinded to scientific realities or materialist realities. But while appreciating those things and learning from those things, ultimately lifting our gaze to heaven to give thanks to the God of gods, the God who made us, the God who sustains us, and whom every detail is provided for by his hand.